we are coming.
It's the last one for everybody. Make it the best one.
Touchdown! Holy help me, Hannah!
This season, the Sioux Falls Storm made their own luck, taking a young and inexperienced team all the way to the IFL National Championship game in Las Vegas. And while a journey that started on Easter Sunday would end up one step from glory, it's a season no one will soon forget.
Oh, it was one heck of a run. I loved it, every moment of it. Just that opportunity to be able to, first have that big comeback win in the first playoff game, and then find it again going down to Frisco at their home stadium and beating them there for the conference championship. I mean, that opportunity to go play in Vegas in front of all those fans and on TV and just being around your teammates, your brothers, those guys that you bonded with over the last 18 or 17 weeks was just, it was amazing.
What an incredible experience. From hosting a playoff game to going to our first away playoff game and the energy and heading to Frisco. I think our players learned a ton about themselves and what they can do. We had a phenomenal opportunity. We were just a little short.
It was a year of change for the Storm, as iconic head coach Curtis Riggs would depart the team after 20 seasons, including a very special one, sharing the sidelines with his son Peyton.
I think for me personally, coaching with my son is what I'll remember most. It was an awesome opportunity, and of the 20 years, it's probably the one thing I'll cherish most.
Coach Riggs leaves the Storm in capable hands, with associate head coach and defensive coordinator Andre Fields taking the reins as head coach next season.
Lights is on now, you know what I mean?
I think we have unfinished business. We're young, we're talented. Andre brings just a great energy to the office. He can't replace Curtis, but it's a new time for the Storm.
They got a good one, for sure. I've known Coach Fields since I've been out here. I played football with his brother in college, and he's there supporting us and being around the Storm as long as I have him start from, position coach to special teams to defense coordinator. Now he's a head coach, so he's had quite the rise, and he's going to bring a little bit more juice, I think, a bit more energy. I don't think he'll tweak a lot of things. I think the core is still there, but I think he's going to throw his little flavor on it.
Here we go, specialists.
While Coach Fields is from Chicago, not Philadelphia, it's clear the eye of the Storm will look quite a bit like the eye of the Tiger with Coach Fields at the helm.
I told you it's crazy.
So we got a lot of championship pedigree, a lot of guys who've been around winning, and then a lot of guys who understand that hunger factor. We want to be hungry. We want to be chip on our shoulder. Nobody gives us a chance, but we're going to prove it to you, kind of like Rocky. That's what our coaching staff brings.
And while Coach Fields will undoubtedly bring a new energy to the Storm, he inherits a house with good bones.
I think people should be excited just because it's going to be new. You got a different face on the sideline. You got a different voice in the locker room. The house won't change. We're keeping the foundation, we're keeping the walls, but we might change the furniture. We might paint a little bit, but I think that just the freshness of it, just having a new feel to it, is going to be something that fans are going to be excited about. We can use that excitement and momentum to keep the train rolling.
As Coach Fields works on his interior designer skills, legendary Storm quarterback Lorenzo Brown Jr. will be moving on to a career in real estate, and most likely a spot in the Storm Hall of Fame one day.
I think Lorenzo meant a lot to Storm football in the sense that he was a winner. He's always a positive guy. He always was able to take criticism and then rebound and make it work for him. He came from USF, the University of Sioux Falls, and their motto is winners win. And Zoe was a winner.
He's one of the best to ever play for us. I think people should remember he's probably the toughest player that I've ever had. They'll play through anything, they'll give you everything they have, and they'll leave it all on the field.
Sticks and stones break bones, but a lesson Lorenzo Brown learned during his time in Sioux Falls is words can never hurt you. They only make you stronger.
I've learned to not really care what people say. Probably take the brunt of everything throughout my career for playing well and for playing bad. And I've come to take that on as a challenge to better myself as a player and as a man too. Mentally it's rough. At the end of the day, I'm human. Words hurt. But I've always let my play do my talking. And out of my 7 years starting at quarterback here, we're in the championship every year except for 1 year. and I could tip my hat on that. I'm fortunate to win 3 of them, and then I also lost 3 of them. But I wouldn't trade those experiences in for anything else.
Sioux Falls Storm are bringing the cup home.
Las Vegas, Nevada doesn't see too many storms. This is the desert after all. But after an epic come-from-behind victory against Frisco in the semis, a storm was brewing at Dollar Loan Center for the IFL Championship game. The opponent? None other than the Bay Area Panthers, led by former Storm quarterback Dalton Snead. After a slow start, the Storm found themselves down double digits at half. The Storm would battle back like they'd done all season, but it wouldn't be enough as the Panthers would emerge with the 51-41 victory to take the title. Lorenzo Brown would further cement his legacy, throwing 2 touchdowns and rushing for 3 scores and 120 yards, the most in franchise history, proving even a grizzled vet can still look pretty good on the dance floor. Brown and the rest of the Storm know they would have never made it this far without the support of the entire Sioux Falls community.
The biggest thing that I just take away from this year is the community that we have here. Sioux Falls is so good at really stepping up behind our teams. We have an amazing mayor, and then you add in the fans and the game staff. We're just really lucky.
I do want to say thank you guys for the support throughout my career, and I'm going to miss you guys for sure.
Football is family in Sioux Falls, and with the fans behind them, it's a new and exciting time for the Storm.
When we say Storm family, we mean it. Storm family is the fans, the supporters, the sponsors. That community support is something that's second to none, and I really don't want to go anywhere and start over having to build that back up, so I'm going to stay here for a while.
Las Vegas has taught more than one person a lesson about winning and losing, and that sometimes the losses stick with you longer than the wins do.
Well, after the game, I told them it'll benefit them not only in their football career, but in life, because they're going to remember the one they lost more than the one they won. You know, as we've been in, I think, 17 championship games, those 6 that we lost, you remember those way more than you remember the 11 you won. And that's what continues to push and get you to work harder for make sure that doesn't happen again.
Kind of like what I said in the locker room. You know, all the coaches weren't there yet. I kind of was one of the last to get in the locker room, and I felt that as the leader of the team, I had to say something. Guys were crying in the dumps. I mean, I was emotional. A whole bunch of thoughts going through my head, but I told them that life comes at you fast. Who knows if this was your last game, but if it's not, use this motivation, because you knew the grind and the struggle that we as a collective unit went through to get to this moment and to fall short. Use that as motivation, use that as your fuel to either come back to have another successful year, to move on if you got aspiration going higher. This is your platform to do that.
As Coach Fields takes over, he hopes the only x-ray he needs to see is the one that shows a chip on every shoulder as he molds a team in his likeness.
My ideal Storm player is somebody who has that chip on their shoulder that says, I'm gonna go out and prove that I'm the best, whether it's here, whether I get a shot somewhere else, that's lovely, but every single down, you're gonna get the best out of me, and I want that guy.
The future is bright for the Sioux Falls Storm. Coach Fields inherits a team with some unfinished business. After coming up 1 game short in Las Vegas, Coach Fields knows it will take more than luck to get where they want to go. They're going to need everyone, including you.
I would say just, the fans who are curious about what things are gonna look like, I say come on out and check us out. They say that teams reflect their coaches, and so I'm hoping to build a team that reflects that small guy attitude, that never give up, always fighting, but has some swag and some moxie about them, because we know what we're capable of. So that's the type of team that we're gonna have. If you like that type of football, then you gotta come to a Storm game in 2024.